Morning. So last Tuesday, I had a meeting with David, and we were discussing what I was going to talk about today with you. I was giving the passage, and while discussing it for over an hour, I couldn't decide exactly what I wanted to do with it. So I told him I'd take it home, I'd think about it, I'd pray about it, I'd talk to my friends, my family about it. As I was leaving the church, I walked out the doors over there and took a right. As you head towards that corner over there, there's a huge oak tree. It's got to be 100 years old. And there's massive branches sprawling, and it's huge. But when I saw that tree, it's not what I saw. I looked down, and I saw the roots. The roots were breaking through this sidewalk that had been paved right over it. It was cracked, and they were exposed. And it hit me. Maybe that's what Paul was talking about in his letters when he said, stand firm in your faith. Is that even when the world paves right over you, it's what you can do to power through and stand firm. But what if you don't feel like an oak tree? It had to be how the people of Corinth felt that Paul was writing to. It's a small community in a huge town in a recently established church. I know it begs the question, how do you stand firm when you don't feel strong? You know what I mean? Because I can certainly relate. In January of this year, I was playing in a church league basketball game, and while diving for a loose ball, fell awkwardly and broke my collarbone into two places. And I had to sleep in a chair for a week. I missed just about as much school, and I was in a sling for 8 weeks, physical therapy for 6. And while I was sitting there in that chair in my basement, half sleeping, half just trying to get through the pain, I felt lost. And if it not have been for my friends, my family, my surgeons, and most importantly, God, I don't know if I would have had the power just to stand here in front of you and preach today. But if you go back to that oak tree and you walk a little further, I noticed another much smaller crack in the sidewalk. And sprouting through that crack was a little dandelion. And I thought to myself, what do these have in common that they can both find a way to get through? The roots. That's what it is. Is that maybe Paul was really thinking about that when he goes on to say, let all that you do be done in love. If faith is the tree or faith is the little dandelion, then love is the roots. Without that love and support from my friends, my family, and most importantly, God, I might not have been here today, standing here preaching to you. I might have been in the back row. But without my roots, who knows? And it all boils down to this. It's easy to get lost in your daily life, whether it's an injury or losing a family member or a more personal struggle. But you have to remember this. God is love. And love binds us together. And maybe this is why Paul wrote to an entire community as opposed to just an individual. Because in the world that we're in today, we need to be rooted in love. And at the end of the day, what we really need is that love and unity, just as a tree needs its roots.